Imagine soaring above Jerome, Arizona in the 1890s. Wooden shacks clinging barely to the steep mountainsides, a testament of human grit and ambition. Below, thick black smoke barrels from the copper smelters, a constant reminder of the industry that fueled this boomtown. The air was thick with the scent of progress and the promise of fortune. This isn't just a town, it's a living, breathing entity, carved out of the rugged Arizona landscape. Jerome's story is etched in every timber and every plume of smoke. It's a place where fortunes were made and lost, where life was hard, sometimes vibrant, but mostly vile. Most towns in the West were built on a grid. Jerome, well, it was built on a prayer. Perched 5,000 feet on Cleopatra Hill, it was a vertical maze of copper, greed, and gravity. They called it the wickedest town in the West, and they weren't talking about the scenery. In the 1890s, Jerome was a pressure cooker. Thousands of men from all around the world were crammed into shacks that literally hung over the abyss. The town burned 3 times in 3 years, but it wasn't the fire the miners feared. No, they feared the dark alleyways that were always stained with blood and whiskey. Meet William Billy Owens. In 1894, he was hired to bring order to Jerome. They didn't hire him because he was a man of peace, though. They hired him because he was a man with a gun. Now, Billy didn't believe in due process. He believed in the lead process. On his first week, he encountered a group of outlaws who thought they owned the saloons. Owen didn't read them their rights, though. He walked into the center of the street and opened fire. He killed 3 men before the dust even settled. The city council was thrilled. Finally, a man more violent than the criminals. But there's the blood-chilling truth about Jerome. If you hire monsters to fight monsters, well, you're just changing the name of the beast. Jerome's crime wasn't just in the streets, it was also in the husband's graveyard. A row of bordellos where the femme fatale would make their living. One of the most terrifying true stories is that of a gambler who entered a room in 1897 and never walked out. This was a man with a heavy purse of copper earnings. He was seen entering a room of a woman known as Satin Eyes. Witnesses heard a struggle, and then nothing. There was no gunshot or scream, no. There was only the sound of the wind. Days later, the law found his body in the bottom of a ravine. His throat hadn't been cut. He had been strangled by a silk cord. His pockets emptied, and his eyes still wide with the shock of the double cross. The vile element? The sheriff found 3 other bodies in the same ravine, all killed in the same way. Jerome wasn't just a town. It was a meat grinder. And the danger didn't just stay in the town. Outlaw gangs like the High Fives we know so well used the rugged canyons around Jerome as their personal hunting grounds. In 1898, a payload wagon carrying $10,000 of copper wedges was ambushed just outside the town. The outlaws didn't just take the money. They executed the drivers. When Billy Owens arrived on the scene, he found the men pinned to the wagon wheels with their own knives. It was a message. The law might have the town, but the desert, well, it still belongs to the devils. Jerome eventually died, but it refused to stay buried. Because the town was built on unstable ground, the buildings, including the town jail, began to slide down the mountain. It was as if the earth itself was trying to vomit out the evil that had happened there. Today, Jerome is a ghost town that refuses to stay a ghost, and people still claim to hear the boots of Billy Owens on the boardwalks. They hear the muffled whispers of the Black Widows in the ruins of the bordellos, and still hear the gunshots of the outlaws that rule this place. And me, well, my name's Jerome, and this has been yet another journey into the vile Wild West. And if you have the stomach for more tales of the frontier's deadliest shadows, subscribe and join us on our next ride. The frontier is long gone, but the ghosts, well, they're still out there. Happy trails. Until we meet again.